Hey guys, this is SolidWorks crew. Today is a day 5 of SolidWorks tutorial for beginner. Today we're gonna have a look at the assembly 2, which is just continuing video from day 4 of assembly number 1. So today's our objective is basically running some more other actually just basic kind of mating tools in order to just create assembly. And also one of the best tips that I've been actually just working in my industry, and then if I didn't know about it actually still, then I'm not definitely here yet. So this tip's gonna be definitely helpful for you for your future career, or actually if you're already working, and then you can try to utilize it, and then that's gonna actually just make your life so much easier. All right, so let's dive into it. Alright, so start from the disassembly view. So those parts are basically from the day 4 of assembly number 1 tutorial video, so you can refer to it if you haven't made it, because it's going to be definitely helpful for you for your kind of part creation process, which is going to be useful for your CSWA. It's going to be definitely used for for you to know how to just create the parts just properly, and then you're going to actually just make those kind of assembly based on the tutorial number 1. But for this case, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna delete all those parts basically, but except the number 1 part. So I'm just gonna actually just remain this one and then this one. Okay, so basically part 2 and then part 3 you can just delete it. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is I just wanna make it as a kind of just clean state, which is just no define, or just no definition, or just no mating at all. So you have just like 2 kind of underdefined just made kind of parts are just like in the air basically. But what we want to have a look at is let's just go to the mating tool. So if you go to the assembly, and there's a mate. All right, and then if you just wait for a bit, and you'll be able to see like those 4 tabs. But last time actually from the day 4 video, we only touched some kind of coincident and then some angle, because that's gonna be 100% actually just like appearing in our CSWA exam. But I want to have a look at some other actually just like basic kind of mating tools. So coincident is really familiar with it, but we try to just like try practice for those 2 parts. So I'm just gonna click coincidence. So I think what it makes sense based on the coincidence is just you can put the kind of plane or just face, and then I'm just gonna just mating to this plane. So you can just create 2 and 2, and then those 2 faces gonna be going inside those kind of selection box, and then it's gonna be just automatically making a coincidence. So as you can see, it's in the same level. Okay, I'm just gonna right click and then clear selection, so not to mating at all. All right, so then what's gonna be the pattern? So pattern is just like, it sounds a little bit similar to coincident, however actually just like you will see the difference. So I'm just gonna click the 2 same faces, and I'm gonna apply OK. And again, the reason actually just this menu is just still showing, even though actually your one is actually, once you click yes, it's gonna be like disappear and then come back to this state, is just because, oh sorry, actually I just clicked the long one. So let's just go back to the mating basically, and then there's a pin, like keep visible pin button, so you can just like make sure just like pin it, and then that's gonna be just like showing you like a button kind of press, kind of like in an emoji, like that's gonna be showing like this. And then whenever you just click OK, it's still gonna be actually just remain activated. Okay, and but even though actually we already applied the pattern, you can see those are just like moving up and down. But the only difference between the coincident is, so if I actually right click this part and then just rotate, and then as you can see, this is just like kind of moving all together, but it could be going up and down, so not to be at the same level, because this is not a coincidence, it's just parallel. So if you're rotating this way, and then this one is going to be parallel to this plane, so it's going to be rotate all together. All right, so you can just go here and then just edit feature, and then let's just have a look at the other option. So what's perpendicular? So perpendicular, let me just try to click this, and as you can see, this plane is just perpendicular to this plane, basically 90 degree, just like perpendicular kind of mating option. All right. And what's gonna be the next one? Okay, let me just like click cancel, and then just like delete this relation, so it could be just absolutely free. Let me go to the mating one more time, and then let's just have a look at the other kind of basic ones. Yeah, there's a concentric. Concentric is the one that actually we touched before, but basically it's just like whenever you select to circle, it's gonna be in the concentric. It's gonna be like definitely the the midpoint or just like center point is gonna be exactly coincident to the center point of the other kind of circle. So it doesn't necessarily kind of same sizes for both cylinder curve, but it's just like at the same kind of center point, which is just the concentric. But there's a one option which is the rock rotation, which means once you click the rock rotation, that's not going to be rotating the pin. So let's just have a look at it one more time. It's a little bit hard to see whether or not this is rotating, but if you're carefully having a look at this origin, I'm just going to right click it, and then, all right, oh, this is not good. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click this one and just fix it so this is not moving at all. So as you can see, there's an F mark. It's a minus mark, which means this is fixed state. So it's not going to be moving or it's not going to be rotated. All right, I'm going to go to the mate and then go to the edit feature, and then I just want to show you this when only applying for the concentrate by default, this is not actually just like fixed state. So okay, let's just get out, and then I'm just trying to rotate it, and as you can see, this origin is just pointing to this direction, but right click and then just rotate a little bit. And then as you can see, this pointing direction is a little bit changed. That means actually which is rotating, right? You can see actually a little bit carefully, this is rotating, right? But if you go to the edit feature for this concentric, and then like press the rock rotation for check marks, and then just like let's just get out, and then right click and then just try to rotate it. It's not rotating it. It's not rotating, it's just going up and down only, because actually we rock it. All right, that's good. And then let's just go to the not the concentric, like tangent relation. So what tangent relation? So tangent relation would be good to apply when there's a cylinder curve face, and also just like this kind of the dimension, or just it could be also just like concentric to the other arc, or just other concentric kind of area. Okay, so let me try it. I'm just gonna press this face, and then just press the tangent, and then I'm just gonna tangent to this face, and then as you can see, this is at the tangent kind of relation to this face, basically, right? Yeah, it's basically tangent to this kind of the surface area. That's perfect. And I'm gonna go to another mating tool. So there's a rock button. So what rock is, just basically like rock does relation basically. So you can just press just 1 or 2 and then just rock it, and then that's just gonna be actually just rock it. So basically fixed it. All right, but that's not very commonly used because this is not very valid way of actually just like fully define it. So I normally don't use it at all. And then the other thing actually that I already went through before is just the distance mating. No, actually I went through the angle mating, basically just applying the angle. But for distance mating, it's just basically applying the distance kind of mate something like, for example, if you just expand here, and then I'm just gonna find out one of the plane here, and then the other plane for all right, so from this plane to this face, I just want to apply the distance of 10 inch, for example, and then it's going to be this 10-inch distance. But if you apply like 15 inches, you will see actually it's going to be a little bit more far away than the 10-inch, something like this. That's the way you can just like apply those kind of angle, or not actually the distance. And the angle also pretty much same. I think we can also just grab just one plane basically, but in order for us to apply the angle, let's just delete this, and then I'm gonna find out this front plane, and then I'm gonna apply this, and then there's an angle as well, like here. All right, I'm just gonna press that and just 30 degree, and then as you can see, actually this face to this face is just gonna be like 30-degree angle. So that's the way you can just apply those kind of angle mating as well. Yeah, there's a lot of actually way you can just mate, but the one that I just show you is just basically press. So you can just grab this face and then press Control, And then at the same time, you can just press this one to grab two, and then just unpress Control. That's gonna show those kind of shortcut, kind of mating method, kind of short box. So then you can just like apply concentric, and then that's gonna do. So instead of actually going all the way inside the mating in order to apply those mating, you can just do this way too. All right, that's perfect. And then what we're gonna do is just delete it, and then let's just have a look at the other mating. Yeah, so I think I have to point out, like, from those lists, what's the most common things. So what's the things that you have to really remember? To be honest, from here below, I really recommend everything except the rock. Yeah, because like everything is just used so commonly in any kind of industry, I believe. And the other tip that I would like to show you is for this, I'm just gonna copy this one. So the way copy this part is just press Control, and then just grab it and then drag it and then drag out, and then just press Control and then just leave it over here. And then as you can see, there's just one more actual part. One part has been created. The other way is I'm just gonna delete it and then press Control, and then grab this one, drag it, and then drop it here. Right? That's another way. And then you can also do Control, grab it, and then just like grab out over here. And then as you can see, there will be a new part. So one of the main tool that I want to show you is basically, okay, there's a situation that this face and this face and this face and this face, I just want those four faces in the same coincident level. So basically at the same level. But you might think, okay, I'm gonna do this one and this one coincident, okay, and I'm gonna apply this one and this one, okay, I'm gonna apply this one and this one, okay. Oh, actually it works fine. But what if there's another way we can do? Okay, let me just go up and down for those parts, and then I'm just gonna do this way for this time. Okay, let me actually just clear, so make sure start from the beginning. There's a button right below. There's a multiple mate mode. If you press it, and then as you can see, there's a one more extra just selection box is just created. So this is going to be the reference point basically. So I'm just gonna click this face, and then it's automatically going to the next box area. As you can see, this box area is just way bigger than the the one above, just because actually you can select multiple. So that's why this is the base point. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this one and click the next one, click the next one, and it's all gonna be in the same position. So once you get out and have a look at it, there's 3 meetings created, right? How nice it is, just compared to just do one more time for each part. That's just so inefficient. That's why actually like SolidWorks created this kind of function, so we can actually just be more efficient. So yeah, that's just one great tip that I use quite often. So just remember it. Hopefully we can utilize, and then once we utilize from our brain, that is the time we start using it properly, and then just think more options when it comes to having some more situation. Okay. All right, perfect. And then let's just have a look at the advanced steps. And also, I'm just gonna have a look at some kind of mechanical analysis, some basic stuffs, just because actually there will be an exam for SolidWorks professional after the SolidWorks associate. So I think it'd be better to know some kind of the mechanical analysis. But I'm just gonna briefly go through it, since actually CSWA is not gonna be focusing on those 2 functions. But what I want to point out is just the advanced ones. So I told you about the with meeting. It's gonna be used quite often. So the way you can use this with meeting is just basically I want to actually just like mate this face. I'm gonna click it, and then this mate should be kind of also at the same point of this and this. So as you can see, it's just moving a little bit, actually just like adjusted to the center point. To the center point is just kind of like at the same level, right? That's the way actually you can just like use mating. But you have to make sure just like clicking 2 faces from the same part, and then you grab another 2 faces of other part. Okay, you can, if you scroll down, and then there's a recent mating that you created is just already in the kind of feature level. So if you want to delete, you can just like click it and then just press delete. And then that's the way actually you can just like delete this relation. So it could be moving up and down. The other, my favorite part is symmetry. What's symmetry? So symmetry is, instead of actually grabbing two faces versus another two faces, you have to grab the center plane. But there's no center plane for this, so which is not great example. So what I'm gonna do is, if you're also just working on the part, I want you to open it up, and then what I want you to do is, okay, there will be a situation you might actually just like have this. So if you think about it, like this is just like we create a sketch at the top plane and then extruding all the way in one way, right? So then how we're gonna actually just put this this the bottom actually top plane to be at the center. The way is we have to go to the feature, edit feature, and then not extruding in one way, we're gonna go to the mid plane. Okay, all right, so then it's gonna be like showing the top plane as a center point. Okay, so you're gonna just like save it, and then let's just close it. And then if you just like find out the top plane of the part one, and then this is the center point, actually we want to actually just like use it. Okay, we're gonna go to mate. I'm gonna go to the advanced, go to the symmetry, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out the part one top plane, and then as from this point it's gonna be exactly the same as the width mating, but you have to find out two planes, each end of planes of one part. Okay, so from here and here, right? So it's gonna be same, almost like similar kind of method as width, but it's just using one kind of center plane versus just two faces of other part. This is really good tool. I will explain why. Okay, so sometimes, for example, yeah, this is just to show you actually what's the difference. But so at the top point, I'm just gonna put a markup, basically just 0.5, and then I'm just gonna go to extrude. All those kind of shortcut button, I'm just gonna actually explain from the another tip video, like something actually that's gonna make your life so much faster by just utilizing those kind of shortcut. But for now, I'm just gonna actually go through it. All right, so I'm just gonna actually put the markup at the top, but at the bottom there will be no markup, just to differentiate. This is the top point and then this is the bottom point. Okay, I'm just gonna save it and then close, and then come back to the assembly point. And then currently, if you go to the mating, there's a symmetry kind of relation is already assigned, right? So this is the thing that I want to show you. I'm just gonna suppress it, and then I'm gonna actually just apply another width mating, and I just want to compare like both of them together. So I'm gonna go to width, and then I'm just gonna grab those two faces. Okay, this is good. So right now it's just like kind of width mating, and I want to compare to the symmetry mating. And then okay, for example, there's a case that we have to rotate this one like 180 degrees. So basically those kind of whole markup is going to be going on the bottom, but this is just kind of fixed state. So I'm just going to right click and then just fix it. So make sure not moving around, but it should be kind of rotate 180 degree. So the way you can do is, okay, I'm just going to suppress it, and then I'm just going to rotate it, and then I'm just going to put the markup on the bottom side, and then let me just try to just unsuppress it. Did you see that? That automatically just, rotating 180 degree back up. But that's not what we want. However, if you activate this, so you can suppress and unsuppress. So what's suppress and unsuppress? So if you just suppress this feature or just like this mating, and then you can just like basically just like play around, and then you can just unsuppress it to just activate this mating. Okay, that's the way you can do. And also if you want to suppress this part or this part, you can basically click here, and then there's a suppress part as well. So that's also one other way actually, just you can suppress and unsuppress basically. And yeah, basically this is the way actually you can just like play with it. But okay, let me just unsuppress this the symmetric mating. However, if I just suppress and then let me just like rotate 180 degree, this is exactly the same situation, the width, but width is just kind of bring it back up. That's not what we want. However, if you unsuppress this, Can you see? This is just like rotated, and then like, you know, this symmetry function is gonna work for those kind of 180 degree like rotated like different direction, but it's gonna be activated still. So this is gonna be like such a huge time saver if you're getting used to using the symmetry for like a lot of complex kind of situation. Then you can really rotate so much freely by unsuppressing and then just rotate and then, you know, unsuppressing. So that's gonna make your life so much easier. I think just keep that in mind. This, it might actually just cause some, you know, some discrepancy, but I personally don't use width a lot. Like unless there is a case that I really have to use two different faces versus two different faces. But I really normally use symmetry all the time. So just keep that in mind. Symmetry is just super powerful tool, and that's very versatile. So I strongly recommend you using symmetry over width. That's just one of my favorite tool. Okay. All right. So let me actually just delete those two, and then just let's have a look at the other advanced kind of mating. So there's a one last piece that I want to actually just talk to you about, which is the pass mating. What's pass mating? This is going to be actually just showing up in our CSWP assembly exam, but pass mating is, it's just basically, I think it would be better to show you actually how it looks like. So it's going to be a perfect point that we're going to just create a sketch, and then we're going to create a probably the just 2D sketch, and then just create a sketch at the front plane. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a spline basically. So spline is just more for the surfacing, so we can just like create some kind of like a curve shape. And then for now actually I'm just gonna, you know, suppress it, this part, just because actually we're at the kind of sketch state. But you can just get out and then just suppress this. And then what I'm gonna do is I just want this origin point to be just kind of follow this path, not to go, you know, over, or just not to go like below, something like this. So that's the point. Actually you can use the pass mating. So you're gonna go to mate and then just go to the advanced. Alright, there's advanced, and then there's a pass mating, and then you can just click this, you know, origin point, and then you're gonna just like click the pass selection. Okay, there's a selection manager. If you can click, and then you can just select it if you want, but you know, it's just feel free to use actually whichever option you like. I'm just gonna click it, and then just click OK, and then I'm just gonna get out, and then to see how this is kind of moving. This is rotating it. However, this origin point is just only following those kind of paths. Let me show you the other angle. So this is just following those paths, but it's just still rotating it, just because actually we didn't actually just like define some, you know, more directions. So for example, I just want this could be only following this path, but going, not rotating this direction or this direction. So how do we want to do it? Basically, I'm just gonna find actually one plane basically. So okay, this plane is perfect, and then I'm just gonna find out the top plane. All right, this one is good. And then what I'm gonna do is press Control and then just you know, click the top plane, and then go to the mate, and then it's gonna like two planes is gonna be selected automatically, and then I'm gonna assign the parallel. All right, and then I'm just gonna get out, and then as you can see, if you right click, it's still not actually just like it's still actually just rotating right now. The reason behind it is I want to apply one more actual mating, which is basically the, you know, top plane versus just front plane. And then once you just like unpress the control, and then there's another plane parallel actual relation you can do. And now if you try to rotate, it's not rotating at all, but this is just moving up and down to follow those paths, right? How cool it is. This is the way actually you can just assign a cool kind of mating to just follow the specific path based on the sketch that you created. All right, I think this is perfect for this video. And actually there's a lot more kind of mating tools, like there's a kind of analysis, and also there's a mechanical, which is just like cam, slot, hinge, gear, you know, rack pinion, screw, universal joint. But like those are going to be definitely just more advanced, and even for the kind of expert, SolidWorks expert, we normally use some, yeah, I definitely remember we used the gear for the SolidWorks, you know, expert exam. And also I believe actually that we use a cam function as well. But for now, this advanced are so let actually beyond the scope of like the SolidWorks, associate. But the reason I'm showing this kind of more advanced stuff for you is this is gonna be what you're gonna be exploring soon, and it's pretty cool compared to the just one single meeting. So I just want you to get familiar with those basic meeting by utilizing it and then just trying that out yourself, and then yeah, we're gonna jump into the advanced and then kind of a little bit cooler thing we can just try ourselves and then just like make our own creation, right? All right, so that's it for today for like more basic, advanced, and more detailed, assembly. And there's a lot of actually just making kind of advanced tools, and then my favorite tip, which is the symmetry. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and if this video was helpful, please just give me a kudo and just subscribe, this video, and just like keep sticking to the next video. See you.